the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Put an end to the Jewish state because it was the Vespasian. You had three. You had Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. Now, if you go to Italy today, they put an Ark of Titus. There's an Ark. You can look it up and Google it. There's an Ark of Titus that's still there to this day. Because Titus, when he conquered Jerusalem, he did it for his brother Domitian. He erected a monument to commemorate how they conquered the Jews. So you got people that say, the Jews never existed. If the Jews never existed, what the hell is a monument doing over there to commemorate how the Romans conquered us? If the Jews never existed, if the Jews was never in that land, if there's no such thing as the Jews, that's just a made-up thing. Why is there an actual monument, a physical monument over there, a tourist attraction of a social structure that was built to commemorate something that the Romans did against them? And they even engraved how they took out the menorah and shit. So this is real. We're not out here wasting our time. This is real.
Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of the Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
So we're a persecuted people, man. We've been persecuted for thousands of years.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
Right, because if you look at the records, like Jeremiah, we always had that connection with Africa because we were slaves there. When you go back to ancient Egypt, because you were the Egyptians, you were the real ancient Egyptians, the people of Sudan. The Sudanese people, those are the real Egyptians. Because when when Esau came in and conquered the Egyptians, he pushed them down south. That's where those are the real Philistines, those are the Egyptians, man. The people of Sudan. Those are the people that originally enslaved us in the ancient world, man. So we fled in, like when you go into the account where it says that Joseph and Mary went into Egypt because King Herod was killing off. You can get that account Matthew chapter 2.
Brother, before we go upstairs, because I wanted to say one thing. Your question was, you got certain ones of people that are willing to teach the word, but then you got those that reject it. I'm going to read this. This is Romans 9 verse 6. It says, not as though the word of the Most High have taken an effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. You see, so with the understanding of that, they are not of all Israel which are of Israel. So what's the understanding of that? Because the thing about it is let me see if I can read some more. Right, that's it right there. Yeah, okay. So what that goes into is the fact that you're going to have the elect, okay, which are the Israelites of the Most High. That's what Paul was going into. So the Israel of the Most High, what are they going to be doing more likely? They're going to be more likely doing exactly what's said in the scriptures. Like the example 14, what is it, 20? I think I believe it is. Okay, you're going.
1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 12. Yeah. Now we have received not the spirit of the world,
right,
but the spirit which is of the Most High.
Yeah, we have the spirit of the Most High. And that's why we're able to do the things according to the Bible without preparing the world. That's what we were made to do. We were set up to do that. Read that verse again.
Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of the Most High.
Okay, go on.
That we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High.
That we may know freely of the things which are given by the Most High. That's why it tells us, what is it? Amos 3 and 6, it says that, the Lord knew of nothing, but he revealed the secrets to the service of the prophets. Right. So that's the minute you see right now. You understand? But the thing about it is the majority of our people.
That's the military siege.
What's that?
You said that's the military siege.
No, I didn't say that. What I said was that's going into the minute you see out here. Pretty much. Okay. They have the secrets because the Lord is dealing with them on that level. But the thing I lost my train of thought. What I wanted to say is going back to what the brother was saying about how we're cursed and stuff like that. And the reason being because when you read the story of what our ancestors were doing, okay, because when you read the Bible, you gotta kind of like picture it sometimes. You know what I mean? If the Spirit wills you to picture it, you know. But when you picture the ills of what our people have been doing, you know, it makes a lot of sense on why we're being looked down and why we're being created as we are. Because if you was to take a detour into the past life, you're gonna see the madness that we was carrying on. And even if you look up the ones of our people now, they're still carrying on with wickedness. They're still robbing each other, committing adultery, selling out to Satan, trying to make it in this world. So that's wicked as hell. But here it is, in the midst of them doing all of that, we're telling them who they are, and they just smack them upside the head. You see what I'm saying? So that's just the thing. We're going, bro.
Yeah. So where was you at? Yeah. You finishing?
It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Yeah, because some of the Romans, they took us into slavery. A lot of us were taken into slavery. We had a lot of us that were taken up into Rome. Okay? Because when you think of Rome, and when you read the history written to the Romans, you got people in church that think, oh man, well that's white people. Now, I'm not talking about white people. You had our people in Rome. We had Israelites in Rome. Our people don't like reading books, man. They don't get into history. Our people all in Rome, man. How do you think we took over Rome? It became the Holy Roman Empire. It became the Byzantine Empire. We was ruling all Europe. That's why when you go to school, they'll never teach you about that period from Rome to the Renaissance period. That 1,000-year period. They'll call it the Dark Ages or a period of ignorance. They don't want to teach you that we were ruling all Europe. Holland, Italy, Spain, Portugal, England, Germany, all known Central Europe, Switzerland. We was ruling all Russia. We left our artwork, our paintings, man. We left our artwork there. So much artwork that Esau wasn't able to repaint all of them. He was able to repaint a lot of them, but not all of them. Because we left 1,000 years worth of artwork here. We had statues and they chopped off noses. So this devil had to do. He had to invest millions worth of pounds and dollars in trying to hide this truth from us, man. That's why the fact that this truth is coming out, we're able to bring this to our remembrance that we're the Israelites. That in itself is a miracle. That in itself is a miracle, man. Okay,
so going back to that, so you did explain about the siege trying to between you.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question. When the country is sieged,
Oh yeah. So
that
we
means
didn't finish.
they've been surrounded.
We didn't finish.
Yeah, I'll go back to that.
Deuteronomy 28. He was at verse 52.
Yeah.
We didn't finish.
So
But the spirit, like when the spirit just go off like different.
this is yeah, you're good.
But see, this is fundamentally important that we understand these things, man. Because if you don't know your identity, you don't know who you are, then you're not gonna understand what you're supposed to be doing. You're gonna be lost, man. You're gonna go according to what other people tell you that you are. Are people feeling all insecure about themselves, feeling inferior? If you knew this truth, you that none of that bullshit would affect you, because you know the truth. You'd be free from all that shit. You would know that really on a real level that you're over these other people. The only reason why you're down and out is because we sinned against our power. That's it. That's the only reason why our people, no matter how many movements we make, or black power movements, or Black Panthers, or what, no matter how many movements we make, it never amounts to nothing, because the Most High has ordained us to be down and out from now on. But the Most High, there's going to be a lifting up of our people, starting with the elect. Go on, you had that.
I'm going to read this real quickly. This is Jeremiah 17, verse 4. It says, "Thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not."
In fact, you know what, hold that. I want to get that, but I'll hold that. Get that. Deuteronomy 28, verse. It's a little quick.
It's a Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is a principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
That's what makes you a man, man. you got a lot of our men. They're like little boys, man. All they seek after is you see our people, man, walking around. They're just on a constant hype, man. They're like little kids, man. They don't want to knuckle down and discipline their minds, man. Discipline themselves. I want to answer this man's question 28, 52. Then we're gonna get to that Jeremiah 17.
No, brother, I'll read it because I was reading it.
You get that Jeremiah 17, verse 4.
And this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 53. 2. It says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates.
It's talking about this man, this devil. This man of a fierce countenance that shall show no favor to the old or young. I was talking about this devil. This serpent, which is called the devil. It's talking about Esau. Yeah, exactly. Esau, the Romans. The people that ruled Rome were Esau, the Edomites.
It says, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustedest throughout all thy land.
Right. Hold that right there, or a little precept. This because the Lord prophesied of that again. This is Luke chapter 19, verse 41. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it. Because Yahushua knew, he knew that the Romans would come, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this day, in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. So that's Yahushua prophesying of the Romans, man. So go back, continue.
Yeah, it says, right, and it says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustedest throughout all thy land.
Right.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates,
Right.
throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee.
So their plan was to wipe us out, man. Their plan was to wipe us out. That's why I told you in that book, it said, Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Great slaughter.
Because their mentality was to wipe us out. It's only through the mercy of the Most High that millions of us managed to flee and disperse and to get out of it.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons,
Hear that?
and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee in the siege.
So that happened, man. Cannibalism. There was the point where when you surround the enemy, there's this way. That means you cut off all the food, any food coming in, your water supply, and what the people inside the city gonna wind up doing. After days of not eating or drinking, when the food supply is cut out, you're gonna start considering sipping blood or eating human flesh. There was an account. There was an account of Israelite women eating their own children. I read it. Josephus made an account. Josephus made an account where you had Israelite woman that she killed her child, she roasted the flesh and ate it, and put some of it away, put some of the dead child away. So you had accounts of cannibalism, man. Okay? So that's real, man. That actually happened.
So then, Deuteronomy 28 is pointing to
Rome.
the Roman city. Then the nation with fierce countenance, dark scent. Daniel says dark scent, but that one says that language.
You can't understand.
What was that language?
That language was that's in verse, but that's English in verse 50. No, that's verse 49. Excuse me. That's talking about English. When he came, he said, as swift as the eagle. It says from the end of earth, because he came from the Americas with slave ships.
This is the thing, because you're mixing the what happened when the slave was married with Rome.
Exactly, because that's how the scriptures sometimes it makes
sometimes
it
it jumps up.
It doesn't just go like a book, man. It's prophecy. It doesn't come like a stage. Sometimes it goes.
That was what happened at the end of Jerusalem. That's it. Because you haven't been listening. You're going to, well, first of all, verse 36 talks about them being taken away to Babylon, and then they still didn't listen. And then the end of it is this part you're reading, where now they come to them. But the people, you said it, the people that came to them was wrong. So the people, that means the language was Greek, because the Romans spoke Greek.
Or Latin.
Or Latin, yeah. So they spoke Latin, so that, so it's dealing with Rome. So that's the part I'm a bit. And then the other thing as well it's to do with this actually. When you go into the 12 tribes, in Revelation it mentions the tribe of Joseph. And it skips out on Gad, and it mentions the tribe of Levi. Because Levi is not actually counted under the 12.
You talking about Revelation 7?
Revelation 7, yeah. So Revelation, because because in the Old Testament.
Because let's tackle the first point. You said how I'm mixing. Go to Genesis 20. Because I want to read you something. I will show you how sometimes in Genesis 20 the time periods can skip. Sometimes it skips. It doesn't just come like a novel book, like a story book. When you read a storybook, it just happens in stages. Sometimes verses flip. Like one verse might say something now, then another verse will say something in the ancient world that happened in the ancient world. Sometimes prophecies flip like that. It doesn't just come like a stage book, a novel book. The Bible is not a novel book. That's why you have to read. Let me get Isaiah. Bear before a second. It says Isaiah 28 verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. Right? Now listen, it says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So that's how you understand this book of mystery, man. Here a little and then there a little. Sometimes to understand a certain prophecy, you gotta flip to certain books to get the full picture, man. It's not a novel book where you just like it's a story. You gotta flip here a little line up, precept, one precept here, then you flip to another precept that deals with the same issue. Okay? That's why we flip. That's why you see brothers flipping around. We're not just reading it page on. Brothers goes to one page, then he goes to the next page. And when he goes to the next page. It's not a novel book. Go to what is that? Revelation 20. Revelation 20. Revelation 20.
Because even in this list, you don't have Dan on it.
Wait.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, explain the point, then we're gonna. Revelation 20, verse 1. Start from verse 1.
So Revelation 20 and 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit.
Bottomless pit is Europe. Go ahead, because nothing grows there, man.
And a great chain in his hand.
Go ahead. Chain represents slavery. Go ahead.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
That old serpent, going back to Genesis. Meaning it's not talking about actual serpent. It's talking about people. Go ahead.
Which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, so I know there's no serpent or snake that has a big chain that's been chained down for thousands of years. That's not, it's parabolic talking about Esau, the wicked. Get on Malachi. You know what I want. Because according to the Bible, there's one people that the Most High loves, and there's another people that the Most High hate. But the Most High is about balance, man. Because you got people saying, if God created everybody, why would he hate? The Most High can do what he want to do. That's in Romans chapter 9. A vessel unto honor and a vessel unto dishonor. The Most High can do that. No, get that. Malachi.
This is Malachi 1 verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragon of the wilderness.
Go ahead, start from verse 1.
This is Malachi 1 verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, save the Lord.
I have loved you, Most High loves us, man.
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
Have you loved us? Look, we're down and out as a people.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Save the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
Right, so let's go back, because that really coincides with what we're reading about that circle was tied down and changed. What period was that? From the period when we took over Rome, man. We took over Rome because you have to understand, back in the Roman, it wasn't based off of your inferiority based upon skin color. It was all more less of it was more class back then. It was more what class are you from, or status. That's how it was back then. It wasn't judged on skin color. So the so-called white man Esau, he let us into high positions of power, even into the Senate. He was into the Praetorian Guard, which is the highest rank of soldier. He was all up into the military, black men in the military. There was even a black man as a general. He became generals in the Roman army. They'll never teach that. We was all up in different trades in Rome, man. And in fact, we're not going to change topic. I just want to get this real quick. This is Acts chapter 18 verse 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. So he was a Jew, he was from Judah. But he said he came from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. So we were all in Rome. Okay, that's proof. Was reading that get that Revelation.
Back to Revelation 20 and 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan.
Because they're the children of the wicked. We're the children of the Most High, and Satan has his children. And that's talking about Esau. And you got our people that say, oh, you can't say that, man, about white people, man, you can't say that. But they don't understand, man, they're not spiritually connected to see how the Esau operates. They're a perverted people, man. There's something in them where they can't believe, more white people don't believe in God, man. And if they do believe in God, they think God is white like them. They're not going to acknowledge that the Most High is black, and his son is black, and his children, the Israelites, are black. They're not going to acknowledge that. It's not in their spirit to. There's something in Esau that's perverse, that's off, man. They don't believe in God, but they believe in Halloween, LGBT parades. If you look at the LGBT parade, you didn't see no brothers there. You didn't see East Indians there. You didn't see Chinese people there. It was just, they were mainly like black women, lesbianistic black women. Not as much as Esau. Because I was walking through the parade. I didn't even realize that the parade was on, because I was trying to go to, I worked at Oxford Street at the time, and I was walking through, I just saw Esau, man. That was the main people celebrating that shit. And I did see, every now and then, lesbianistic young black girls, man. Lesbianistic young black girls. So that spiritually on a level shows you that there's something about them in comparison to other races that's off, man. They were created to be off. So when the scriptures talk about, you gotta see through the spirit that's what that's talking about. That's talking about Esau. When we tied him down during the time of the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire, and a lot of them we pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. A lot of them we enslaved. We had their women as concubines, white women. And that's where a lot of them Sicilians come from. A lot of them Italians, they descend from us. A lot of them, like the what do you call them? The mafia. A lot of them Sicilians are really of us, man. A lot of them the Portuguese, dark-skinned Portuguese, man. They come from us, man. Because we were having a lot of sex with the white women back then. But they were like what you call the Moors. They became known as the Moors or Moreno, meaning Israelites that were into the religion of Islam.
they use
John chapter 4, the woman of Samaria,
Right.
which she was speaking to the Messiah. She said, our father Jacob.
Right.
So she says Jacob was her father. That means
That's what she thought. That's what she thought. She thought she was a Jew, but she wasn't.
Yeah, guys.
She wasn't no Jew.
No, she wasn't a Jew. She
Guys.
wasn't a Jew, but she said our father because Jacob had 12 sons. So she wasn't from these lot. We know.
If you guys want to speak, just go over
She
there.
was from one of these.
Because it's the camera you see.
The Samaritans, she was in that region because of something that happened in history, where you had the northern
captivity.
Right.
When
So you had Cushites. That's why you get these Falasha Jews. Falasha Jews. So you got a lot of them Cushites that think that they're Jews. They're not.
She did have, because she said Jacob is her father.
That's what she thought. Because she was. That's what they. You know yourself how people from Kufa were placed there, and they were taught the Jewish way to the point where they began teaching that they were the Jews.
Okay, you know what? Let's say we agree with that point. So she thought she was, and the reason she thought she was because she couldn't show her lineage. Because in order for you to be to show that you're a true Israelite, you need to be able to show your lineage. So it doesn't matter her saying, I think my dad or whoever was from Jacob. If you can't show the evidence, you're not. So when you look at it from that point of view, today majority of black folk, it's kind of irrelevant whether or not we're from.
Right,
Because
no,
we can't show our lineage.
Right, that's okay, that's true. None of us, that's how I know you've been watching Black People Israelite. You've been watching Hebrew Israelites, right?
My friend sent me some videos.
But none of us here can prove by record or genealogy. None of us here. So really this whole thing is based upon faith. Something that we just know, something that we know has to be true. Okay? That's what we're justified by. We're justified by faith. Not by anything carnal, not by law or genealogy records. The scripture says, go not about strife, endless genealogies, and stuff like that. But this thing is based upon something, a spiritual thing, something that we just know. It's a spiritual, something that faith, we just know.
So and this is just exclusively for people of dark skin.
Not even because everyone is dark skin. Everybody's dark skin is obviously. This is a genealogy thing. Anybody that descends from Jacob. This word is only for Jacob.
Yeah, but if you can't prove it, because when there's some, because you know it says those that don't need the law, but they do by nature the things in the law. It says that Romans, it says these having the law, they become a law unto themselves, and they got to judge them accordingly. So what happens to those people that they don't say Israel, they don't know the law, what they're trying to do was good.
I'm going to get into it, but I want to finish this point in Revelation 20. Continue with Revelation 20. I read to verse 4. There was a point I wanted to make about what you said about how this says in Deuteronomy 28 how it's talking about Rome and then
you said about how it should go.
And bound him Revelation 20 and 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations no more.
Exactly, because what was Esau deceiving the nations? When you go back during the Roman Empire, they're all Roman. So it was concept anybody can be a Roman as long as you follow the Roman way, dress Roman, you speak Latin. So Esau pretty much was making nations forget who they were, man, back in the ancient world. And he's doing the same thing all over again today. Like the whole concept of being an American. You can all be American. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white. He's coming with that same deception that he did in the ancient world. That same shit. Okay, so that period he was shocked to deceive the nations no more.
And he can get
But you get that.
And this is Revelations 20, verse 1. I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and the great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So that's when you gotta know that Esau, he's proud to play the devil.
And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, until the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season.
Exactly. So after that 1,000-year period, Esau started coming back into power by and by. You understand? It's called the Renaissance period. That's when Esau, because during that so-called 1,000-year period from 193 AD to around the 1400s, Esau wasn't doing nothing. He was a slave or he was in the caves. Okay? It was only up until the 1400s that Esau started taking down certain strongholds in Europe and reclaiming his power again. That's what the word Renaissance means. It means rebirth, man. Look up, rebirth of what? The Roman Empire. This man's formulating his system after the pattern of ancient Rome. So it said that this man, after that 1,000 years period would be done, he'd be let loose in new season. So that's prophecy, man. That's prophecy. And this was written before Esau, before that even happened. Because this was during the time of John the Revelator on the island of Patmos. And what year was that in? That was like flipping, that was the 1st century. Right, that was the 1st century AD. And that when Esau was let loose in the season, that didn't come around to